I'd be fucking terrified because we would about to be somebody's annexed nation,
Yeah.
occupied. Like, we all know occupation's bad. We're watching it happen with Palestine and Israel, and you guys can understand that concept, but when it comes to us doing it to other people, you, like, don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. And I
It's
think,
yeah, like I said before, we can be glad that Maduro is gone, but we can also be upset that we're going to occupy it. And I see it in the chat. Yes, guys, we are actively going to occupy Venezuela. We're
yeah, I also
literally
want to,
Trump said that we are going to run the nation.
also, I want to point out, what the fuck did Mrs. Maduro do? Why'd we take that woman? What is that?
there's hold on.
Oh,
There's more than one way to occupy or take
We're,
over a country without occupying it.
sure, we're gonna get there. We can get right into it. I'm almost done. But my thing is, like, what did she do? Why is she also being bounced between Guantanamo Bay and the New York district? What is that? That's super strange. And
There's a full article on her by BBC.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. I also want to point out that they had an election that, if we're really just doing a transfer of power, the person sitting right there, they had an election that was claimed to be rigged, that Maduro apparently didn't win back in either this past year or 2024. And the person sitting in the wings waiting to get called up. So if it's really about a transfer of power, we have the person we can put in place, and we could take our hands off of the situation. But that's not what's going to happen.
yeah.
It's about oil, placement of troops, occupation. Because if this was just about transfer of power, the person's sitting there waiting to get called up. That they're people elected. Now I'm done.
Well, the Daily Delve. Tell us, what's your age, state, and who you voted for? You there, Daily Delve?
Give me a second. My signal's real bad. I'm just driving in this bad area. Give me
Oof, okay, you're driving. You're driving. I can't have you up if you're driving. I'm sorry. Come back up when you stop, okay? Thank you. We don't. I'm not gonna be the guy to start a car crash. Sorry.
You can't. Also, it will get your live taken
It will.
down. So
Yeah.
just-
All right. Welcome, Super Sam.
Hello.
Tell us age, state, and who you voted for.
31 Chicago Trump.
Great. Which topic would you like to address? Would you like to talk about Venezuela, or what do you want to do?
I'd like to address how you would think a female would be a good president.
I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be. Like, I just don't like why. Like, what's the problem with specifically females? I mean, like, I don't get it. You know?
You think a female could be a better leader and president than a male?
I don't think it's based on sexuality or gender or anything. I just think it's based on the person.
So you don't think a female that bleeds like every week is a stronger person than a man?
I mean, I don't know. I have my time of the month where I get pretty pissed, and I'm a man.
I also want to point out, do you think FDR was a good president?
Who's that?
Who's that? There's no way you're serious. Did you graduate high school?
Yeah, it was easy.
How? Well,
How did you graduate high school? Franklin Delano Roosevelt? Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The guy who led us
That
through
was a
the
long
guy
time
who led
ago.
us through World War II.
Yeah,
You know
he's kind of like a big deal in terms of
Do you know who created slavery? And
wait, hold on. Wait, I'm so sorry. You're not skirting out of not knowing who FDR is. That
Yeah, you're not getting away with that.
Because if you want to come up here and be like, females can't lead, and you can't tell me who the fuck FDR is, but you want to tell me that I would be a less proper leader than someone like you just because you have a dick, is crazy. Like, I wouldn't trust you to run a household, let alone a fucking country.
I think I could run a
I
household
don't think you
way
could.
better.
Also, my point of bringing up FDR was the fact that if you want to talk about physical strength being something that you super need, FDR had polio as a child that affected him for the rest of his life. He was one of our best leaders. So I'm so sick of people being like, it has to do with physical strength in the office. I'm like, yeah, you have to be generally healthy enough to carry the fucking job, which our current president is not. But I want to point out, like, one of our best leaders was physically disabled. So it makes no sense that you're gonna, like,
But it wasn't a female, right?
but you said it was about physical strength, and one of our best leaders had
No, I,
trouble walking.
no, I said being a female.
Then you brought it to physical strength. I feel like you're not tracking, so I'm just going to drop it here for the sake of not
Yeah.
A female could never be a leader.
derailing the live.
Yep. I got him for you.
FDR?
FDR, come on. Also, I just want to say, Eleanor Roosevelt, if y'all haven't done your research on her, absolutely incredible leader. I'm sorry. We've had some incredible female leaders in this nation, and just people just like completely ignore them. You know?
Somebody said best leader. I never said best. I said one of our best. And then they said he was saved by World War II.
I mean,
so now,
yeah.
So now we're at the point where MAGA is trashing on FDR.
God, it's because they can't. It's like, it's so, for some people, it's just like so hard to agree with the opposite side. At this point, like they just like can't agree with anything. Every man has a female leader. Exactly. I don't think we've had a single president that hasn't had a wife. And this is a story that I tell a lot. James Madison's wife, who I forget her name, I don't know her name, but when the White House was being burnt down by the British, she got all of our documents, all of our historical texts, all of our presidential memoirs from beforehand, and saved all of them from the White House in an incredible act of bravery while Canadian soldiers were literally 500 feet in front of her. I mean, I'm sorry, like, it's so weird to me that people like think like there's some sort of like female male divide on like who's a better leader, which is just, it's just odd to me. I'm sorry, there have been some pretty like bad and good female leaders of the world. And I would argue that like Margaret Thatcher is a nice example of like somebody who could be a good leader but wasn't necessarily a great person. You know, she's like known as the Iron Woman. Like she's heavily respected, and she is a woman.
Two things. Her name was Dolly, I just found out. Dolley. And somebody said FDR was not a child. And he's right. I thought he had it as a kid, but it turns out it was when he was 39.
Yeah, it started like later in his life.
Huh. Learn something new every day. I always thought it was that he had complications for his life because he had it as a child, but it turns out that was not the case.
My understanding was they got it like during the presidency, but I guess it was before that. I just knew that his health declined while being president.
Right. I always thought it was childhood affliction that continued to like garner disabilities, but I guess that's not the case.
Yeah. It was a pre-existing condition, so he wasn't able to get healthcare.
Yeah, I also just got called a Karen.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
I don't know, but I'm going to take it in stride because that is the first time that's ever happened to me.
Really?
Yes.
That surprises me. Not because of you specifically, just like knowing because of people on this app.
No, I know. It's a common like thing for people who are like older, but like I don't know. But yeah, no, first time ever. First time ever.
Yeah, I have a feeling that like Churchill and FDR got like a special place in the afterlife to just like hang out together. Like not hell, not heaven, because they both did really bad shit, but they also did really good. I have a feeling God was like, you two you two can just chill together for the rest of your lives. And I just like to think of what that would look like. Some men are so threatened by women, truly pathetic. Yeah, that's true. I've never experienced that, sadly, or luckily, I guess. But I'm definitely afraid to walk up to women. That's for sure. That's still terrifying.
That makes you nervous?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's most of the time people will come up to me because I'm a very eccentric person, like outside of here. But when it goes to approaching people, it's very difficult. But it's not.
It goes away with age.
Oh yeah, I bet it does. It's also like not like a priority of mine, so it's like I'm like chill.
Yeah, but also like something happens. I know this is a long way off for you, but something really interesting happens at about like it hits everyone at a different time, somewhere between like 26 and 32, where all of a sudden you're all just people. Like it just happens out of nowhere, and then you're just like, oh hey, and then just because you were born around the same time, there's a camaraderie, and then it just moves on from there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like
Well, I
it
mean,
goes away.
well, here's the thing. Like, I'm also very fortunate that most other people come up to me first. Like, that's how I've made most of my friendships, like in school. Because I'm a part-time college student. Okay. Well, if you guys want to address any of the prompts, feel free to come up. We got 44 people in here. I appreciate all you guys for coming by. We do lives every few days now. It used to be every day, and then now I am more busy with my life, so I am doing it less. Um, but I appreciate you guys for coming. We all know you tuck and look in the mirror. What the hell does that mean?
Tuck your dick.
Oh, what the fuck does that? Huh? Okay, whatever.
My question is like, first of all, none of your business.
Yeah, like what? Why is that what you're thinking about? That I think that says more about you than it does me.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Like, second of all, if people are like really into your and my physical appearance today, I got have I ever seen a gym? Yeah, the hot tub's great. And then secondly, you tuck your dick and look in a mirror. We're getting squashed today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Follow up.
It's just we got a bunch of bots in the comments, I guess.
Yeah.
You have a hot tub at your gym? That's awesome. What?
Yeah, and a sauna.
What? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and it's like a chain, but what's great is I swim laps and most of the gyms like only have indoor pools. This one has an outdoor pool and an outdoor hot tub, which is like the only way I'll do it now. Like I refuse to swim inside ever again.
Well, you're in LA, so you guys like never get cold weather here.
Except right now, where it's been raining for the last 3 weeks and I don't know what to do. Call your friends, call your SoCal friends. We're beside ourselves with grief. It's rained for 3 weeks and we are used to perfect, so you should be worried about us. We don't know how to handle this.
Well, you guys have had, at least it's better than a drought.
I have a girl troll on me in the comments, which is like super interesting.
Yeah, Jenna is her name.
Yeah, no, it's like fine. I don't actually care, but I've actually never had that before. It's normally men, so that's. Am I like?
I mean, it
moving
could be a man pretending to be a woman.
It could be man, but I guess there are like.
It reminds me.
Other women still.
It reminds me of that SNL skit. Like, you're a woman that doesn't support other women. Which, if you don't watch SNL, you probably don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Jenna is a hater. That's very true. All right.
Somebody says the Southwest does get cold weather, but it's all relative. I'm in Phoenix, so same with cold. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Boston, guys. There's snow out there right now.
No, but you signed up for that when you stayed there after you turned 18. I hightailed it at
what?
20. I hightailed it at 20, 3,000 miles away to get the fuck away from that. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this.
Listen, I love this city. I'm never leaving.
That's exactly what you signed up for. That snow.
Well, also remember, being a politician, if you move to a place, like, you have to live in the place that you're working for. So, like, if I were to like move somewhere else, I would be like an outsider, and it would be much harder for me to get elected. So, yeah. No, we have not been getting like enough snow these past few years. Global warming has definitely had an effect. I remember I lived in South Carolina for 2 years at a boarding school. We got snow for like the first time in like 150 years down there.
You were at a boarding school in South Carolina?
Mm-hmm. For a year and a half.
So was my brother.
Yeah, I know. We already talked about this like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We did
not
not the same school, but the same type.
Yes. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was the same one. Yeah, and also the extremes that we're having now. So I think this is slated to be one of the coldest record winters that we've had in a really long time.
Really?
Yep. That's why you're getting snow. That's why here's getting rain. Like the temps are down. And what's interesting is people are like, see, it's gonna correct itself. And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand.
Yeah.
These kinds of climate shifts cause extremes. They can also cause things to be more mild. It depends on the year. But what happens when California gets all this fucking wetness and then it goes to an extreme dry instead of it being mild is this creates more foliage that then burns like a motherfucker when we get to our fire season on the other end.
Yeah.
So when this is supposed to be like a temperate climate all year round, and now we're seeing extremes that feed into one catastrophe over the other. And when it dries out like that and gets an extreme amount of wet over the winter months, that causes landslides.
Yeah.
So like yes, it's technically like, oh, we've been waiting for rain. Yes, that's a good aspect of it. But again, let's go into gray instead of black and white. There are good things and bad things about everything. And
Yeah.
this is one of those things.
Yeah, that's scary. I could never imagine living in like I just couldn't imagine living in California. Um I've been there a few times. Actually, I might be going to LA in June.
What?
Yeah, my family, my dad's a huge Rush fan and they're going on a
Okay.
tour, so he's bought over 16 tickets across the entire country. Um and he bought us 4 tickets in LA. And then he's also bought us tickets in Boston, bought us tickets in Toronto, and bought us tickets in New York because he wants to go to as many things as possible. So
Great.
if he doesn't sell those tickets for LA, then we might be going to LA as like an entire family.
Is it at the bowl?
Maybe, I don't know. I have no clue. I'll have to check probably. It's at wherever like their like first few like where they originally Rush concert LA. Rush Tour 2026.
It's at the Kia Forum.
Yeah, that's where it is. That's where it is. And we might be going there. If we're not going to LA, we're just going to go to the one in Boston. They didn't announce the Boston one until like 3 weeks after they, you know, it was not great. All right, well, listen, everybody, we have got no MAGA requesting up. Even when we had like 100 people in here, no MAGA was requesting up. They're all so scared.
You hit 150.
Yeah, well, recently my max ever was 280, but that was at the peak of stuff when like I was getting like $100 donations, and then you have your ups and downs with this app. So, though in the past 3 months this has been our best performing live, so very very happy about that.
Are you? Go ahead.
No, that's it. I didn't have anything I was going to say. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Are you? Well, two things. Are you concerned about what's going to happen to this app on the 22nd?
Very much so.
I am as well.
I'm very worried on the amount of media that's being purchased by the Ellison family and Elon Musk. Like, I'm very concerned about that. We'll see what happens. I mean, my hopes is that the algorithm stays the same and they start targeting people like Dean Withers and Parker and not the lower guys. And they don't really, because I don't think they could really target every single political YouTuber or political like content creator. And then if it does end up like I'm not getting any viewers, I'm gonna continue posting and tell people that I'm moving over to YouTube and get like a phone number set up so we could still do this, but just like not on TikTok.
Right.
But I'm not really worried about my data. Like, that's something that I've always been like, it's out there already. Like, I'm not the
I
type
agree.
person to be scared about that. I like what I do, so if my data is getting taken by the government, they already have it. So it's not like I'm at risk.
The amount of hours I've spent on here talking to people, if they're coming for us, I'm on the list.
100%. The good thing is I'm a child of 2 parents and have over 10 family members who all are well aware about what I'm doing. So if I ever get taken, I'm gonna get a pretty hefty sum of money. That's for sure. So we'll see.
I'm in a similar boat where I feel okay to put myself out there because if I was to ever disappear, it would be swift and quick adventure to find me. Which I think is why we're kind of obligated to do that.
Yeah, we have that ability.
And then my other thing was, do you want to hear something super weird that happened to me on a live yesterday?
Yes.
So this frustrated the shit out of me. So I went onto a friendly live that I had never been on before. And we're talking and I'm taking like a different approach because I'm sick of just like jumping down people's throats out of nowhere. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of like the debate bro talk and like we're not actually getting anywhere. And now there's something at stake again. Like we had a year of downtime in the terms of that there was no election. Like yes, this past November there was things, but we're looking at midterms now. So I'm like I want to go back to canvassing. I want to go back to like having a purpose and not just yelling at each other into the void, which is important some days to get out aggression, but like I want to feel the same way I did the summer of 2024 and why I started doing this. So I was taking a different approach. And I'm on this panel, and the mod is really aggressive. It's a guy, and he immediate insults, immediate intensity, immediate like muting, dropping, picking back up, dropping, picking back up of like ops. I was like, fuck, man, like that seems really intense. And there was one diehard MAGA person, but another guy who just said he was a Republican. Didn't even say who he voted for. We get down, they drop the first guy. And I've been trying to like ask them genuine, authentic questions. Like I'm not actually trying to like verbally headbutt anybody. I'm like actually trying to ask them a question. He won't let me answer. It gets annoying. And then the second guy, who was just a Republican, goes, listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't vote for Trump the last 2 terms. I'm a lifelong Republican, and I'm thinking about changing to a registered Democrat. But like these conversations make me nervous about it. I want to talk to that girl. They drop him. They call him a bitch boy. And I threw my hands up into the camera and was like, that is the whole goal. How could you just do that to him? They drop me, tell me to get effed in my twat, and then proceeded to talk shit on me for like 2 minutes after I was dropped, saying I was the most annoying person they'd ever met. I was getting so fucking sick of her, like all this crazy shit. And I was kind of like, wait, I something kind of clicked, and I was like, that's their space. Like if it's a rage room, like that's okay. But I just realized the whole point for some people doing this is not to canvas, is not to make progress, is not to like change something. It's just to yell into the void. And I realized I'm putting myself in spaces that maybe I don't belong in because like that's not my point. But it was so bizarre because like I was so frustrated because I was like, that's what I only hope for to bump into as someone who's like, I think I'm done. Like, can you usher me in? It doesn't mean you have to be their person's best friend. You're probably gonna think their views are still abhorrent, but we need votes, guys. I'm not asking you to have dinner with them. But
That's
if somebody
so
wants,
fucked up.
yeah, and I was like, that guy wanted information. He didn't even vote for Trump.
He's gonna. That's for sure.
And I was like,
He isn't becoming a Democrat now. Can you give me the name of the person, please?
I don't remember the hosts.
Ah,
I
shit,
just know
okay.
that the mod's first part of their name was political. That's all I remember.
Okay. Well, if I go on their live, I'm definitely gonna shame the hell out of them. So.
No,
Well,
you don't even have to because that's like it's their technically.
no,
their
they're
space.
fucking up my work. I'm sorry. Like I spend way too much of my goddamn. I spend over 60 hours a week in this shit. If we're gonna have people up here who are doing that type of stuff, I'm gonna fucking rip on them. I'm gonna say you're literally ruining this goddamn country.
It was so frustrating as someone who talks to people a lot on this app who only hopes for a situation like that, who just hopes for a situation like that where someone's like, I think I'm gonna turncoat. I think I have to like give this up. And somebody says I specifically want to talk to somebody, even if it was my own live, I would shut the fuck up immediately, have everybody else mute, and like let the person that they like felt comfortable with talk to them. But I guess that's not that person's like goal.
Yeah. Political for you is that him? Political for you?
I don't know, but I don't want to start a thing, to be honest. Like I have somehow
they started a thing when they started doing that.
Okay, and take it upon for yourself, but I have somehow made it through like 2 years on TikTok talking to people without having any TikTok drama, and I would love to keep it that way.
I will not mention your name whatsoever. Don't worry.
Yeah, because I have no desire to utilize this app to have personal drama.
Is his name Politica de Sharia, or is it? No, it's not. It's not.
Not a clue. I never checked. I never like.
All right. Well, I guess I'll find it at some point. Welcome, PL. That's got to be a flag, right? That's a flag in your username. That has to be a flag, right? I don't know. All right. Well, what should we call you? You gotta unmute. You're muted.
Just call me C.
It's a Polish flag. Awesome. Are you like from Poland or are you just Polish?
No, my family is. I'm 50% Polish, so.
Sick. Well, tell us what's your age and if you voted, what state you're from.
Um, I'm under 18, so I can't vote.
Fine.
So, but I'm originally from New York.
Cool. Well, tell us what topic would you like to address?
So my main issue would probably be just, the overall health of, like, the economy and, just the economy in general, probably.
How the health of the economy is your most
Mhm.
important issue? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Do you feel that like the current administration is doing a good job at that?
I don't feel like it's doing the best job, but I feel like it's doing a lot better than when um we had to transition from Trump to Biden the first time, because that was just a messy situation and it was hard for either uh administration from when the election results came in to about mid 2021 for
Okay.
anything to really get done because of COVID.
Yeah.
And just everything happening.
So
But I
so
feel
you
like,
you feel it's better than it's going better than it did last transition.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So let me ask you, like, what do you feel the president, right? What do you feel that the president specifically, what their responsibility should be when it comes to the economy? Because realistically, they're supposed to be relatively hands off, right? And I feel like there's been a misconception taught to people that like the president is supposed to have all this control over the economy and stuff like that. And I'll also just say like COVID was bad, and right now what is going on is also pretty bad. Ever since Trump got in office, the economy has only gotten worse. So I think I'll just ask you, like, what do you think the job of the president, is in regards to the economy?
Um, so I think just the main job of the president for most things like the economy, um, again, like you said, is pretty hands off, but the most that they can do is that they should do is mainly tell representatives that are in their party their political ideas on what could be best for the economy, and a bill with that type of idea could be passed.
So you're saying to write economic legislation?
To it should just be whoever the president is in office. Currently, I don't really care if it's a Republican or a Democrat for this idea. If a president wants to get their ideas passed, they should tell um people in the Senate, people in the House, to about said ideas that they have, and they should try and get it passed through them, so it's not considered political overreach, and there isn't as much public backlash, so there isn't you know arguments and
Yeah. So like
even up to political violence.
when it comes to like fiscal spending, right? Because that is something that the president can control, is how much money we're spending. Do you feel that right now, like, we're doing okay? Is your priority to get rid of the debt? Like, what are some things when it comes to how much the government spends that you feel is important?
So I really think that the amount that the government spends should not be more than 500 million to well, no, not 500 million. It shouldn't be 500 billion more than what they have, because that would just increase the debt too much.
So that like that's a maximum deficit for you, 500 billion.
Yeah, 500 billion to probably 650 billion per year.
Okay.
So because that can compound really quickly for the national debt,
Mhm.
and anything over that would probably just cause the debt to go too high, and it would basically just make it harder for future presidents to handle that issue, and it would just put the country at risk.
Okay. So do you like, what kind of spending do you want to decrease? Because doing that is going to take us to decrease some spending. Do you want to decrease the amount of money we spend on our military? Do you want to, like, what do you think would be the best option to get that deficit down to 650? Because right now we're at like a couple trillion per year.
Yeah, so definitely reducing quite a bit in the military, unless if we're at active warfare, would be a good idea, because because we are semi close to it currently. Um, because of the situation in Venezuela, which I haven't done enough research on, and I'm currently doing more on it. Um, but unless if we are currently at war, I would say the military can probably lose maybe a little bit per year,
Okay.
and unless if foreign aid is absolutely needed, we can most likely stop sending money to foreign countries, unless if unless if it's a big conflict, such as possibly
Like Ukraine.
the Ukraine, and even there we can probably reduce uh giving it a little, because I feel like currently we have been over giving to Ukraine, because the amounts that we've been giving are definitely a little high.
Oh.
And same with Israel and Palestine. It should just be less money given to Israel, even though that they're even if we support Israel, we need to be giving less money, because we do need to focus on decreasing the national debt. And
Okay.
I feel, because if our country goes bankrupt, that doesn't technically stop the country from running. All it does is basically stops us from getting new money from other like loaners, and it
Mhm.
stops us from doing quite a few things.
Yeah, well,
And
and
I
it
feel like the goal.
decreases others' trust in America too. That's
Mhm,
also a big issue. So listen, man. It sounds like you're very knowledgeable and you've done a lot of research. I don't know how old you are, but I applaud you for doing your own research. And I am curious to hear how old you are. I'm just as my own just curiosity. If you're
um,
willing to share.
I don't feel comfortable sharing my exact age, but I will say I am under the age of 15.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Well, good for you, man. And listen,
mhm,
I'm going to give you a few sources that I trust for information. Pew Research Center and the Cato Institute are both like pretty bipartisan sources that have a lot of great information when you're looking up statistics. And when you're doing your research, make sure you do that. Trust but verify also online. What you hear on YouTube videos and things like that will not always be accurate. Make sure you're always
mhm.
checking that. I appreciate you for coming up, and I encourage you to continue doing the work and the research to educate yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great day, man.
You too.
Love it. I fucking love it. I know that's not always the most entertaining, but it's always good for people to be able to have their opinion heard. So,
That's the part that I think debate spheres have lost, is that it doesn't always have to be entertaining. If you're actually up here to like do the thing, that needs time too.
yeah, 100%. I,
Like,
I just like, I'm very, very happy that there's actual like kids that are under that age that are doing their own personal research. Um, so that gives me hope.
yeah.
But
Um
yeah,
yeah, I also, if he's is he still here or no?
I don't think so. I think you left.
Okay, well, if anybody ever asks about like, oh, I'm sure the Pew Research Center is left. It only scores 8% off of center. So if somebody says that's not high, so if somebody tells you that's not a reliable source, you can tell them that when ranked, it is only off kilter from dead center 8%. It's about as central of a source as you can get.
Yeah.
For statistics.
It's literally, they're just so good, and they have so much information.
And when it comes to Cato Institute, it's technically off center to the right. So if you're talking to someone conservative, use Cato, because you can say like, look, this is even from your side leaning very ever so slightly from center towards the right. And you can utilize that. Right. You should use both. But and you could do a scale. Like, I'll give you an example of how I use a scale. So Cato Institute reports that 65% of people in ICE detention have never committed a crime, have zero criminal record. We're talking anywhere from it being a violent crime to a parking zero criminal record. Where there are other sources that are more left-leaning that say it's at 76%. So sometimes when somebody wants to be like, what's your source? I'll utilize all of it, give them the scale, and be like, at the most conservative of statistics holders that I've been given, being Cato Institute, we're at 65% of no criminal record in all ICE detentions since Trump. And then at the least conservative end, we have 76% of people. So you can also utilize things like that if you have multiple statistic sources.
And both of them are also just bad, no matter which one you choose. Like, those are also
it's bad either way. Like, we're like, which one are you good with?
Do you want bad or do you want super bad?
Yeah. But it also helps because then you're not pigeonholing people into utilizing one source that you trust. You're giving them the internet's AI overview from your own self. Like, you're doing that work. Yeah. And Cato is a really good source to utilize as your back-end conservative numbers, in my opinion.
I love Cato Institute. And people say that they're left-leaning because they're a libertarian think tank. That's why they're somewhat conservative. Like, in libertarianism has gone to the left ever since Trump, because he's, literally the complete opposite of a libertarian. So,
but also what's considered left now? Like,
I don't even know.
Human rights, like, that's the thing, is like, now that it's considered left, it's only because left policies are just like not infringing on rights at this point. Like,
yeah, like this. Well, it started with Bush, right? When Bush and McCain got into office, they could not give Bill Clinton credit for anything, which then said that all of Bill Clinton's policies, the crime bill, the tax cuts, all of that, that's all left. That's all left stuff. All they did was left. And ever since then, all policy, all ideas had really only came from the left, because people refused to admit that the left had some good policies. So they push every idea. That's why Trump barely passed any legislation, right? Because everything has to be on the left, liberals, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, the propaganda machine is so robust, and it's very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
Welcome, some dude.
Hey, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How about you?
Doing great.
Well, tell us, what topic would you like to address?
So I could literally tackle probably any of these, but I mean the second one, I mean, it's theological, right? When you're talking about that, right?
I wouldn't say so.
I think it's constitutional.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you can
I agree with
get into theological arguments, but it's relatively simple.
Okay. Well, when I think of like America, when you say it's a Christian nation, like the majority of Americans are Christian. What is it, like 60+%? So that's my only contention when it comes to like the second prompt, because I see it a lot. Because like, yeah, constitutionally, we are a republic that has the ability to support any religion, right? That's within our constitution. I just disagree with the idea that's like, oh, we're not a Christian nation, or we are a Christian nation. It's very, bland.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, that girl, if you...
No, I'm so sorry. Constitutionally, it doesn't say that. It actually says that we need to, as a government, remain neutral to religions. and that there needs to be a separation of church and state. It's in the First Amendment. So
Yeah, that's-
it's not exactly how you kind of framed it per se. It's more that our government should remain entirely neutral to any religion.
We're
in
we're
case you-
intentional with it.
Right. And the exact wording, by the way, I'm not just like looking at my hands. The exact wording is Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That
Yeah.
just means that they can't infringe upon your right to practice whatever the fuck religion that you want, and that the United States government has to have no hands in the cookie pot of religion, nor be governed by any hand of religion.
Was that not what I was saying?
Yeah, you kind of, I forgot the exact wording that you said, but it was kind of, it wasn't that we needed to remain neutral and separate.
Okay.
I wish I remembered the exact wording, so I apologize if it seems nitpicky, but I think the exact wording matters when it comes to this. It's that we have to remain neutral to religion.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
like
what
concept.
and the reason why you hear we're saying not a Christian nation is because the claim is that we are. If people are saying we're not a Muslim nation, then we would say America is not a Muslim nation. It's more about the fact that America, since its inception, has never been directly and only involved with Christianity. And I also like you hear it a lot. This too, that we are like founded on Judeo-Christian values and things like that.
That's like, yeah, I think that's the dumbest thing ever. but
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
so when I say we're not a Christian nation, I'm not necessarily like denying that there's a lot of Christians in the US. It more means that our values as a nation, our identity isn't strictly involved with Christianity. It's every single religion has
Well-
a place in America, essentially. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no, duh. I mean, like, if you look at the United States Constitution, it's basically a rebellion against the French and British Empire to say, hey, that these individuals who are within my nation are not to be over-governed, right? And then obviously you had the French Revolution and, I don't know what it's called, in France, but, they had a whole movie about it. What, do you know the specific word? Does anyone know it?
A coup d'etat?
Yeah, I guess it's a coup d'etat. I know it's something else. It's not a coup d'etat, but it's like. Anyways, not to get sidetracked.
Like
here.
what event are you talking about? There's a lot of things that happened in France during that time.
It's what is it called?
The Enlightenment?
I think it is when it's like basically the French overthrew their king because like the peasants were being paid nothing.
Yeah, that's the French Revolution.
Yeah, the French and British Revolution, right? Like it was basically. Anyways, I don't even know where I was going with this point. I got completely sidetracked. Do you guys have anything to say?
I think
I'm so sorry.
I think we were all I think we were all expecting to have an argument. Me and that girl are not necessarily denying that America is has Christians in it. We're just saying that connecting Christianity to America directly is inaccurate. It's not representative. And I get people up here who say like America is strictly founded on Christian values and things like that. And if you don't believe that, then we have nothing to argue about.
Yeah, also, like, there's something strange going on in the comments saying that churches were shut down during Biden's term of office.
Oh my God, yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's technically true. Bring that guy up, but I can't argue that point. He's just talking about how during the COVID mandates, a lot of churches.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the way he's saying that sounds like Biden was like, and you don't get a church anymore. And
Yeah.
you don't get a church anymore. And it's like, that's not
Biden,
it
yeah,
at
Biden
all.
was a practicing Christian too.
Yeah.
He was a
also, like,
Catholic. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I
and
think
so
the
it's also,
second
like-
Catholic president besides John F. Kennedy.
you know who else didn't get to go in? Jews.
Every,
Anyone
Jews,
who like
Muslims,
wanted,
Buddhists,
Muslims,
Hindus.
Buddhists, like anybody fucking ever also didn't get to do that. So at that point, we can also say that temples were shut down, synagogues, mosques. Like, stop it. That's goofy.
Yeah, but we control everything, so it's like.
Well, I don't have anything to argue about, but I'm gonna head out. Do you guys have? How's your guys' day going? Before I do,
Day's
Good.
going great.
That's good. Hopefully, you guys have a good one. And God bless your hearts. Have a good night.
You too.
Did you hear about the temple, the Hasidic temple in Brooklyn during COVID? Some guy, everyone thought he was nuts. He was like, I hear Jewish people in my floor. like during COVID, and
Huh?
everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
How?
Like, this is amazing. Just listen, this is amazing. And everyone was like, you're so anti-Semitic. This is so insane. He was like, no, you don't understand. At night, there are Jews in my floor. I'm telling you. Like, I looked up what it is. It's Hebrew, man. Like, there's Jews in the floor. And everyone was like, you're insane. What the fuck? Guess what the fuck was going on?
I can guess, but go ahead.
Because of COVID restrictions, some Hasidic people found a fucking way to go underground and like practice Torah at night. And this guy was like, you guys don't understand, like I'm not anti-Semitic, but like I'm hearing Hebrew at night in the floor. And everyone was like, this guy's fucking crazy. Like, he's so nuts. And he wasn't wrong. Like, this temple was practicing, like, in their basement, which I guess took a left turn under an apartment or some shit. And, like, and he was like, I told you guys. And yeah, he did hear Jews in the floor.
Yeah,
Which,
and they were creating tunnels too, which is even more hilarious.
and I was like, you guys, do you know how bad that looks for all of us? Like,
Anti-Semitism is already like so,
fuck.
it's like doesn't even mean anything anymore, and that makes it even worse, bro. I think I told you about this. Every time like a Jewish person does something fucked up, I'm like, there's already so many things that people can point to. Why are you doing this?
Are
Yeah,
we like
so-
in for like kind of edgy jokes right now or no?
Probably. I don't know. I don't care.
That shit with the tunneling, I was like, we're never beating the rat allegations. Like, really? They already like equate us to rats, and you're fucking tunneling and shit. Can you, like, not do that, please.
Oh God.
Do you know how like 10 toes down I was about that guy? And I was like, that's the most anti-Semitic thing I've ever heard. And then they're like, no, we were down there. And I was like, fuck, like don't do that shit, you guys. God damn it. Oh, I got another one for you. This is probably not great. Whatever. Okay, so my friend's name is Aaron, and he's also Jewish. And he works in politics in LA. I won't say much more about him. But he had an issue the other the other year. And I didn't even know this was a Hasidic tradition. I was like, pardon? I forget what, I think it's Sukkot or Passover. I can't remember what the holiday is, but where you kind of like ring around a chicken. Yeah, Google that. I didn't ever hear about it in my life. And Aaron showed up at the bar and he was like, you are not going to believe the day I've had. Because everyone was like, we don't want to be insensitive to Jewish like culture. We need a Jewish person in politics to handle this. So
it's
they
on
put
Yom
Aaron-
Kippur.
Okay, they put Aaron on the case because they were like, we need someone, like, we don't want to interfere. Like, somebody else, like, from their culture has to interfere. Because it was a problem.
Ah, what the fuck, dude?
And